The late night breaking news just coming in. China has accused India of firing warning shots. There is no India response on the China claim yet. Joining me for more on this is NDTV's Vishnu Shom. Vishnu, what is China claiming?
Well, China is claiming a major flare-up has taken place in the South Pangong region. I should stress before I read out their official statement that there is no response from the Indian Army as yet. We've reached out to the Indian Army at various levels. That said, the spokesperson of the Chinese People's Liberation Army's Western Theatre Command, Senior Colonel Zhang Shuli, has said, and I'm reading out the statement, that on September 7th, in other words, yesterday, in other words, Monday, the Indian Army illegally crossed the line of actual control and entered the south bank of Pangong and the Shenpao mountain area in the western section of the Sino-Indian border. During the operation, the Indian Army blatantly fired threats to patrol personnel of the Chinese border guards who had made representations, and the Chinese border guards were forced to take countermeasures to stabilize the situation on the ground. I should stress over here that it's not often easy to get an exact fix on the location because the Mandarin name and the English name are sometimes different. So at the moment, other than south bank of Pangong, and that's the same area we've been talking about for the last few days, I'm slightly uncertain about where the Shenpao mountain range is. But I'll repeat that last part of that statement. During the operation, the Indian Army blatantly fired threats to the patrol personnel of the Chinese border guards who had made representations, and the Chinese border guards were forced to take countermeasures to stabilize the situation on the ground. This is the operative part of the statement, and the allegation that shots have actually been fired, even if in self-defense, is a very important statement because, as you recall, throughout this entire situation with China over the last several months, there have been clashes, hand-to-hand clashes, never, guns or bullets fired from guns. So this marks an escalation of sorts. I should mention that these have been labeled even by the Chinese as warning shots. The Chinese spokesperson went on to say that this can cause misunderstandings and misjudgments, and that there are serious military provocations of a very bad nature. We request the Indian side to immediately stop dangerous actions, immediately withdraw personnel who've crossed the line, strictly restrain frontline troops, and strictly investigate and punish personnel who fired shots. The theatre command's troops will resolutely perform their duties and missions and resolutely defend national territory and integrity. So that's what the Chinese are saying at this juncture. I should once again repeat that the Indian Army is yet to come out with a statement, and we expect them to actually do this. But this certainly marks an escalation if this claim is to be believed. That's the information we have at this stage. Should be repeated that South Pangong is where the Indian Army in the last several days has preempted a move which was made by the Chinese People's Liberation Army to get into an area possibly to start dominating the heights. So what India has done is actually to position our soldiers in several areas and to dominate heights and to ensure that they are able to clearly sight Chinese soldiers in that area. The area itself on South Pangong it refers to areas along the Pangong Gap and the Pangong Lake, which is right nearby. These are areas where the Chinese can actually move tanks and infantry combat vehicles and also infantry in large numbers, and therefore, by positioning soldiers on the heights, the Indian Army is in a position to actually target these Chinese formations. But what China is now accusing India of doing is actually crossing the line of actual control. Our sources in the Indian Army have always said that India has maintained its position right on the line of control, where there are heights which we have moved into to dominate the areas around in South Pangong along the Pangong Gap and the Pangong Lake as it's known.